Hi, Suskriti. Hi, Sujal. Hi, Maho.
Hey.
Hi. Sorry, I was
You can try to share now. I think it's good.
There we go. Let's see. Please test. Oh, there we go. Let's use my camera. We're gonna wait until 7:05, just so we get everybody to get in.
This is Neha. Can you guys hear me? I just want to make sure my mic's working.
Yes, we.
Nishan, you look like a monkey.
Hi everyone, can everyone hear me? I've been asked to keep you guys entertained while we start. So I don't know, my singing's not that great, but I can try. It's fine. We're gonna give everybody just a couple of more minutes. I'll have my parents get situated here. And then we will start momentarily.
PowerPoint सुधाइ सुरु भइसक्यो
In this country, especially in this country, black people were the ones who suffered a lot. Yeah. And they brought the changes. You don't know whether you wouldn't be here. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of us would be here. And we don't realize that. That's why that Black Lives Matter would be is important because it's, you know, even if it defines a single race, but it's a starting point for almost anything and everything. Right? Yeah. So they realize that.
Which is what like I'm trying to like explain, which is what I explained to Shreya, and I was like without them, like, and they're fighting for their rights, like we wouldn't have any.
Okay. Can everyone hear me? Just give me a thumbs up. No? Crap. Yes? Okay. I think we have the majority, so let's go ahead and get started. First of all, I just want to start off by saying thank you so much for being here, for taking that first step. I'm learning, you're learning, we're all learning together. طبعا थाहा छ होला तर तपाईहरुलाई थाहा छैन पनि होला तर के भइराछ अनि हामीले के गर्न सकिन्छ हाम्रो सानो नन प्रफिट नया भन्ने Nepali American Youth Association ले सुरु गरेको we just wanted to have a platform, a space where we could teach each other, we can learn from each other, and just know that you're not alone and it's okay not to know and it's okay not to understand. But we have this space. Please remember that we have kids in this call that are 6 years old. We have adults in this call that are, I don't want to say old, everyone's very young, but who are older. So let's be mindful and be respectful of the language that we use. I just want to run through the agenda really quickly. We have some people who are going to talk about what's going on, how it's affected them, and some resources that you can use. And then we have a poem that Arya wrote. Alok would like to do a moment of silence, so we'll do that. And then at the end, we'll also have a Q&A session, and we'll also have like an open forum for you guys to say anything that you want. Also being mindful of who's in this call and just being respectful to each other and just being kind. And that's the basis of this call today. I have my parents here with me who are excited and want to learn and do their part and I guess just be a voice for our Black brothers and sisters because that's what we need to do right now. So I don't want to take too much of your time. I'm going to pass it over to Lalit, who is the president of Naya, to say a few words. Lalit, you might have to unmute yourself because everyone will be muted.
Hi, everyone. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, so my name is Lalit Adhikari. I am the president of the Nepali American Youth Association, Naya. Naya is a small nonprofit organization dedicated to preserving Nepali culture and helping the underprivileged both in the US and in Nepal. We are here today to talk about the Black Lives Matter movement, and we are talking about this to help our community better understand the story behind the Black Lives Matter movement, why it's important, how it impacts us, and what we can do about it. So what is the Black Lives Movement, or Black Lives Matter movement, sorry? The Black Lives Matter movement is the modern day equivalent to the civil rights movement led by Dr. Martin Luther King in 1964. The Black Lives Matter movement fights for basic human rights for Black people and minorities throughout the United States. Why is it important? Well, the Black Lives Matter movement is important because it exposes injustice in minorities, especially Black people. It exposes the injustice minorities face even in 2020. Sorry. The Black Lives Matter movement demands equality and basic human rights, which is something usually people take for granted, but not everyone has it, as we can see. One of Naya's main goals is to help the underprivileged, and the Black Lives Matter movement does just that. Naya stands in support of the Black Lives Matter movement, and we are committed to doing everything we can to help. We encourage everyone else to do the same. A couple of key takeaways that Naya wants to pass on to you guys and the next generation is that color does not define who you are. Just because someone has a darker skin color or looks differently does not give anyone the right to treat them differently. We should all treat each other as human beings because that's what we are. Also, do not be afraid to speak up and fight for equality, especially for our younger members and teenagers. As kids, we read books like Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, and Hunger Games. Even though all the main characters in those books were just kids, they all fought for what was right. Today, we're in the same situation. We have to fight for what is right. There are two sides to every story, or two sides to every conflict, sorry. It is our job to know the full story. We have to stay educated before we make any decisions, or take any sort of action. And never lose sight of what we believe in. On the news, it's scary sometimes because we see videos of protests and people looting Target, just shattering windows, getting beat up by the police. That is not what the Black Lives Matter movement is about. the Black Lives Matter movement is about fighting for inequality, not looting stores for free stuff. And with that, my little spiel is over. I'll pass it back on to you.
I muted. Sneha also has something to share about why this is especially relevant to the South Asian community. So Sneha le अब चाहिँ हामीलाई अमेरिका कसरी आउन पायौं, के गरेर यस्तो immigration laws-हरु pass भयो हैन. So Snehaले चाहिँ नि त्यसको बारेमा बोल्दै छिन्. So I'm going to pass it over to Sneha.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me fine? Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. Let me try to find it. Okay, can you guys see it? Or do I have to do this through? How do I do this? Right here. Okay. Okay. So can everybody see me, see this, hear me fine? Yes?
Yep.
Yep, okay. All right, so I'm going to be talking to you guys about the civil rights movement, which Lalit actually just mentioned briefly, and I'm going to be explaining more specifically how it paved the way for Asian Americans and their communities. So when we talk about communities, you know, that's talking about us, us having the privilege of being able to come to America and actually organize as a as a Nepali American community, just like this one. So I'm going to begin by talking about what the civil rights movement was and how it led to the Civil Rights Act of 1964. I'll start off by reading you a definition, but I'm going to try to dissect it as best as I can, because I know these definitions sometimes kind of just like blow over through our heads. A lot of the times, even in school, we were taught to just memorize it for a test, match it with the word, and then move on. So by definition, the civil rights movement in the United States was a decades-long struggle by African Americans to end legalize racial discrimination, disenfranchisement, and racial segregation in the United States. So when I break this up, this is what I mean. So the civil rights movement in the US was 10 years. It lasted 10 years, probably give or take a lot more years with that, which means it took a long time. It was a long, tiring, very, very, very passionate fight. And it was led by Black Americans, and that's one important thing to remember, is that Black Americans were in the forefront of this movement, fighting for not just the rights of Black Americans, but by domino effect and just by the whole situation of minorities in America, it greatly impacted other people of color and immigrants in the United States as well. And it worked to end racial discrimination, which just means members of a non-white racial group or anybody being treated differently or unjustly or unfairly based on the color of their skin. And by that, I mean everybody based on the color of their skin. That doesn't matter if you're Black or if you're brown, if you're Hispanic, if you were not white, essentially, in the United States at that time, under law, you were allowed to be treated differently, and this organization and this movement worked to end that. Also disenfranchisement, which deprived certain people the right to vote based on the color of their skin. And this is an important one, so please, please, please remember it, as I'll talk about it in a little bit. And then racial segregation, which a lot of us are familiar with. At the time, it was actually legal to create different facilities and different opportunities for people of color versus white people. And again, that is including us. That means we were expected to go to lower funded, less prioritized schools. And then again, we know the situation of the different facilities as well, bathrooms, water fountains, et cetera, et cetera. So what did the civil rights movement actually lead to? So it led to the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which possibly is one of the most important acts that have affected Asian Americans. Once again, that is all of us in America, all of us right now, all of us who got to come here because of the DV lottery, et cetera, et cetera. So the Civil Rights Act of 1964 is a landmark civil rights and labor law in the United States that outlawed discrimination based on race. color, religion, gender, or national origin. So the more important to this topic, at least right now, is that it prohibits unequal application of voter registration requirements, which again is super important, and I'll talk about it in just a bit, and racial segregation in schools, employment, and public accommodations. So I'm going to go to the next slide and explain how that part of the Civil Rights Act has benefited us especially, and actually about how we can do a little more to recognize that the privileges we actually gained out of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So the first one is the Voting Rights Act. So I'm not sure if a lot of people knew this, and I'm going to be honest, I learned a lot through doing the research for this. I knew a little bit, but after being given the opportunity to, and obviously the responsibility to research the history of Nepali Americans in the United States, I actually found out that a lot of immigrants in America just before 1965, so that was leading up to the Civil Rights Act and the Civil Rights Movement, some immigrants actually were deprived of the right to vote because you spoke a minority language. And when we talk about minority languages, we obviously know that Nepali is also considered a minority language in America. So up until the Voting Rights Act was passed, most of us and most of our, well, maybe not us because we speak English, but a lot of our parents who are still learning English right now, who may not be fluent, were not given the right to vote. And obviously as Americans, we know that voting is a right that we enjoy greatly because it helps us elect people who are going to govern us and pass policies that directly affect us. So the next one is the Immigration and Nationality Act, which is even more of a bigger effect to us. So again, I know so many of you guys are aware of the DV lottery. Personally, me and my family got to come to America because of the DV lottery, and I know many of you guys as well. And regardless of whether or not, the Immigration and Nationality Act was actually passed by the Johnson administration because they were actually quite embarrassed that this was not already a policy after the Civil Rights Act was passed. So the important thing to note here is before this act was passed, after the Civil Rights Act, the United States could essentially stop certain populations and nationalities from immigrating to the United States. So that included, I think, roughly about 18 million of immigrants from South America, Africa, and Asia. And that wave that we talk about, the 18 million immigrants, most of us were a part of. If a lot of you guys came here between the years, I think the big wave was 1970 to 2005, that includes us. So had the Civil Rights Movement not influenced the pass of the Civil Rights Act, then none of us would have been given the opportunity to actually immigrate to America. And again, the big thing to remember here is it was the Black community, it was Black Americans who fought for 10 years straight to collect these rights for us. So the last one I'd like to talk about, and one that might be a little more difficult to talk about, just because it's hard to recognize where we have benefited at the suffering of another group, is the idea of the model minority. And I'm sure a lot of the youth here is familiar with it, and anybody else who's heard of it. I'm sure we've all heard of the stereotype that's like, you know, all Asians are super smart and expected to do super well in fields of STEM. So the model minority was actually created at a time, not only during the war, but actually influenced during the time of the Civil Rights Movement. And it was essentially created to divert the attention away from the Civil Rights Act by praising Asian Americans for being complicit during this entire movement. So this means because Asian Americans weren't at the forefront and we weren't fighting our policymakers, our police, they wanted to praise us and essentially give us the upper hand because we were being so complicit with the government. And I know that this is a double-headed monster because the model minority actually negatively impacts people as well. But the big thing to remember here is because of the model minority model essentially that was created, we enjoy so many privileges and so much power that it's important to recognize that, you know, where that rooted from. And again, not to say that we don't face our own challenges. Of course we do. And that's why we are in these communities to assess them and see how we can, you know, work on those as well. So the big question is, so what? You know, like I told you guys about all the ways that the civil rights movement has helped us, but what is the main takeaway? Like, what do I want you to know is the most important thing. So there are two things I hope you keep in the back of your mind walking away from this. And the first one is, as Asian Americans, we have benefited from the efforts made by Black Americans immensely. And I'll reiterate it one more time. Without the efforts made by Black Americans, without them fighting for us tirelessly, we not only would not have been given the right to immigrate to America, but we also would not have been given the right to vote, just because so much of the Nepali American, Asian American populations were not fluent in English, and many of our languages were considered part of a minority language, which would essentially otherwise deprive us of the right to vote. And then the second one is, we enjoy privileges because of the sacrifices that Black Americans have made. And sacrifices and privileges are the key takeaways here. The Black community did a lot for us, and essentially we got the upper hand in many ways, obviously not in all ways, but in many ways, because they sacrificed essentially the way that America looks at them for the rights of all minorities and people of color in the United States. So I think this is a good time to reflect and realize that there is a lot that they have done for us, and it might be time, and it definitely is time, to pay that forward and see what we can do for the community as well, just because systemically and everything else, the government and most of the American policymakers are more likely to listen to us, unfortunately, than Black Americans. And an entire way to talk about this, but those are the main takeaways. So the last thing I would like to emphasize here is we'll talk about different ways that you can help, but the most important one that I would like to talk to you guys about is I encourage you to watch this documentary called 13. And it will just give you a better perspective on why and how race is still such a big issue today, and how much violent and blatant racism is going on in our country that a lot of us, even I, did not know about until watching this because of our prison system and the war on drugs in the 1900s. So lastly are just the resources that I used to put this together. So yeah, thank you for listening. I'm gonna put myself on mute now. Okay, I'll pass it on to the next person.
Thanks, Sneha. Thank you for sharing all those words. I know it was lengthy. I would like to welcome Diwan Uncle to share some words in Nepali so we can have like a broader, I guess, language.
Thank you, Indu. This is an exciting group that we have. What a wonderful opportunity to speak in front of you. सम्पूर्ण नेपाली प्यारेन्ट्सहरूको अगाडि है। सर्वप्रथम त यो जुन युथ ग्रुप लाइक इन्डु, यो नयाँ यो एनजिओ जुन भाइ बहिनीहरूले सेटअप गरेका छौ, र आज आएर यो इम्पोर्टेन्ट म्याटर जुन कि अहिले करेन्ट सिचुएसन जताततै अमेरिकामा भइरहेको छ, यो जुन एउटा प्रोटेस्ट अगेन्स्ट भनौँ न, जुन अहिले यो अमेरिकामा लामो समयसम्म दबिएर लामो समयसम्म चाहिँ व्हाइट अमेरिकन बेसिकली को प्रेसरमा परेर उनीहरूले अहिले यस्तो अवस्थामा पुगेर यो अवस्थामा आइसकेका छन् कि, र यो अवस्थामा पनि उनीहरू उठेनन् भने अब सायद गाह्रो छ। यो अवस्था भनेको हामीहरूले भन्दा पनि अब तिमीहरू जस्तो यङ लिडरहरूले चाहिँ लागेर अब यो फेरि नदोहोरियोस् भनेर अगाडि बढ्नुपर्ने समय आएको छ। स्नेहाले र अनि ललितले यो इङ्ग्लिसमा यो अफ्रिकन अमेरिकन ब्रदर्स एन्ड सिस्टर्सहरूले यो देशमा गरेको कन्ट्रिब्युसन के हो भन्ने कुरामा त हाइलाइट गरेर गए। उनीहरूले दिएको योगदान, उनीहरूले दिएको जुन जुन एउटा सेक्रिफाइस छ, उनीहरूले दिएको सेक्रिफाइस आज हामी इमिग्रेन्ट एउटा फ्यामिलीजले पनि आएर चाहिँ के गर्न पाइरहेका छौँ भन्दा त्यो इन्जोय, त्यो एउटा सर्टेन प्रिभिलेज उनीहरूले चाहिँ लडेर ल्याएको चाहिँ हामीले बेनिफिट लिन पाइरहेका छौँ। र यो अवस्थामा उनीहरूसँग सोल्जर, उनीहरूको काँधमा काँध जोडेर हामी पनि उनीहरूको कजमा अगाडि बढ्नुपर्छ र उनीहरूले दिएको कन्ट्रिब्युसन, उनीहरूले यो अवस्थामा आएर जसरी एउटा भनौँ न प्रेसरमा परेका छन्, दमनमा परेका छन्, त्यो दमनमा परेको बेलामा अहिले जसरी उनीहरू अहिले फ्रन्ट लाइनमा स्ट्रिटमा चाहिँ आफ्नो यो एङ्गर, एउटा ग्रिफ लिएर आएर यो बेलामा चाहिँ पुगेका छन्, त्यो बेलामा चाहिँ हामीले साथ नदिने हो भने साथ कसले दिन्छ त भन्ने कुरा आएको छ। त्यसो भएर कतिपय हामी नेपाली इमिग्रेन्ट फ्यामिलीहरू जो अलिकति आएर यहाँ धेरै समय बिताए पनि यो अमेरिकन सिभिल राइट्सको बारेमा त्यति साह्रै अनुभव नहुन सक्छ, तर आजको हाम्रो यो भाइ बहिनीहरूले यति राम्रोसँग रिसर्च गरेर उनीहरूले आफूले कलेजमा स्कुलमा पढेको चाहिँ नलेज चाहिँ हामीहरूसँग सेयर गरिरहेका छन् र that's really important. I mean, I'm kind of impressed by this group of people. भोलिको चाहिँ युथ अन्टरप्रेन्योर प्रोफेसनल्स, भोलिका लिडरहरूले अगाडि आएर चाहिँ अहिलेको यो समयमा हाम्रो अफ्रिकन अमेरिकन ब्रदर्स एन्ड सिस्टर्सलाई फेस टु फेस अहिलेको यो कोभिड-19 को सिचुएसनमा जान नसके पनि यसरी चाहिँ एउटा ग्रुप, एउटा क्लब, एउटा समूह स्थापित गरेर उनीहरूको आवाजमा, उनीहरूको साथमा साथ दिने एउटा चाहिँ प्रयास गरेका छन्। I really thank you and I really appreciate. With that, again, I know भाइ बहिनीहरूले चाहिँ यो अफ्रिकन अमेरिकन ब्रदर्स एन्ड सिस्टरले दिएको कन्ट्रिब्युसन को बारेमा हाइलाइट गरे, तर यो धेरै त्यो यो 1964 भन्दा पनि अझै पहिलेदेखिको यो दमन र प्रेसर यहाँ छ। I mean, you can look into that. अब्राहम लिङ्कनको पालादेखिको चाहिँ समस्या, उनीहरूले कतिसम्मको दुःख, त्यो प्रेसर चाहिँ उनीहरूले खपेर बसेका छन् र यो देशको लागि उनीहरूले के गरेन वास्तवमा भनियो है। त्यो अवस्थामा अहिलेसम्म पनि उनीहरू यसरी दबिएर बसेका छन् कि आजको यो अवस्थामा पनि, आजको यो जमानामा पनि उनीहरू चाहिँ दबिएर बसेको छ। त्यो आज निस्किएको छ र आजको उनीहरूले गरेको जुन एउटा चाहिँ एउटा यो स्ट्राइक छ, एउटा प्रोटेस्ट छ, उनीहरूको लागि चाहिँ सर्टनली नट ओन्ली युथ भाइ बहिनीहरू जसले बुझेको छ, तपाईँ हामी जस्तो नेपाली इमिग्रेन्ट कम्युनिटीका दाजुभाइ दिदीबहिनीहरू पनि समर्पित भएर, हुन त हामीहरू हाम्रो देशमा स्ट्राइक भनेर चाहिँ हडताल भनेर चाहिँ धेरै गर्छौँ, तर यो अलिकति युनिक टाइपको स्ट्राइक छ, त्यसमा चाहिँ हामीले सर्टनली पनि साथ दिनुपर्छ भन्ने मलाई लागेको छ। र I just wanted kind of with this, though I'm kind of heartbroken by the injustice of this dark moment and deeply troubled about the increasing threat and violent responses. And now is the time for us to come together as we serve together, we live together, we party together, right? We play together, and across all Nepali American communities, be it Indian communities or Mexican communities, Chinese communities, and this country, eventually people from all over the world. So our work, your commitment, and our commitment has never been more critical. So my concern, or our concern as a society, as a community, especially you guys as a youth leader, for each other has never been more important. And this is the right moment to join hands together with our African American brothers and sisters. If you recall, I'm sure you heard this quote, right? In the words of great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he always said this quote, I'm going to quote, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. we are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one community, one society, basically affects all indirectly. So आज गएर हाम्रो अफ्रिकन ब्रदर्स एन्ड सिस्टरलाई चाहिँ यो इम्प्याक्ट पर्यो भने त्यो चाहिँ हामीलाई पनि परिरहेको छ वास्तवमा भन्यो भने honestly I know you're young, you may not have experience, but still today we as a Asian Nepali member professionally, even at a professional level, we experience this kind of stereotyping, right? So I think this is the moment we all need to join together with our African American brothers and sisters. You know, हस्तेमा हाइसे गरेर अगाडि बढ्नु हाम्रो कर्तव्य हो र भोलि हामी आफैको हामी सम्पूर्ण नेपाली कम्युनिटी मात्र नभएर इन्टरनेसनल ग्लोबल कम्युनिटीको लागि राम्रो हो त्यति भन्दै मेरो यो I know छोटो गर्छु भन्दा भन्दै लामो एउटा प्रेजेन्टेसन भयो even though I wasn't prepared. But again, I wanted to thank you, congratulate you taking this leadership initiative. Keep going and do what you can do to join hands with them, with African brothers and sisters. Okay, Indu, on the team here.
Thank you, Uncle. You said everything so beautifully. म के भन्न चाहन्छु भने हामी चाहिँ नि धेरै जसो म पनि गिल्टी छु होला मैले पनि घरिघरि केही भनेको छु होला तर हामीले जे कुरा भनिन्छ हैन हाम्रो माइन्डमा आउँछ ओ यो मान्छे यो के रे I know I'm going to say this त्यो काले मान्छे अलि नजिक आयो ओ काले मान्छेले यो लुट्यो काले मान्छेले यस्तो गर्यो भनेर त्यस्तो कुराहरु भन्दा भन्दै हामीले बच्चाबच्चीहरुलाई पनि त्यही सिकाउँछौं हैन त्यही उनीहरुले त्यही सुन्छन् अनि त्यही भन्छन् सो आई थिंक इट्स इम्पोर्टेन्ट कि हामीहरुले घरमा आफ्नो मम्मी बाबासँग आफ्नो भाइ अथवा दाइसँग यस्तो कुरा गरौं हामीले किन हामी सबै एउटै हो मान्छे भनेको त मान्छे हो हैन न गोरो न कालो न रातो न निलो राइट we're all the same त्यो जो मरेका थिए उनीहरुको फ्यामिली थियो मेरो जस्तै भाइ थियो मेरो जस्तै ड्याड थियो so sorry but just think about what you're doing and what you're saying and what you're teaching your kids because it's so important. I don't want my kids to grow up in a country that's filled with hate. This is our home. I know I'm in Nepal, but this is where we live. This is what matters, and this is when we have to fight. So that's my take, but Bikul, go ahead. You're up next.
That's a hard thing to follow. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm Bikul Odell. I'm an advisor to Naya. Right now, our country is wounded. Our Black brothers and sisters are hurting. Street protests are prevalent, and they have been victims of police brutality for as long as police has existed. As you all know, George Floyd was murdered by a police officer. He had a daughter, he had a family. A week before, Breonna Taylor was murdered by the police. She had a daughter, she had a family, call her own. A couple of months before, Ahmaud Arbery, while he was just jogging down the street, 2 white men shot him. A couple of years earlier, Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner, and the list goes on. Since January 1st, 2015, 1,252 Black people have been shot and killed by police, according to the Washington Post database that tracks police shootings. That doesn't even include those who died in police custody and were killed using other methods. The rate at which Black Americans are killed by police is more than twice as high as the rate for white Americans. It is crystal clear what's happening. And I think, and I believe that this occurs largely due to racism. And for this Zoom call, Indu has given me a great task to explain what racism is and what we can do about it, which would ultimately make me like a philosophical thinker, because that's an impossible question that's everyone's been asking for hundreds of years, and how to solve it. Clearly, we still haven't found a way. But to further help our Black brothers and sisters, I believe that we first need to understand what racism is and where it comes from. Racism is hatred against someone solely based on their race. Nothing else. They don't need a reason. All they need is a belief that their race is superior than the other. That's one reason they use to hate, discriminate, and create prejudice, create laws that are disadvantageous to African Americans. And that's been going on forever. So the racist treatment of our African American brothers and sisters started around 400 years ago when the first slave ship arrived in Jamestown from Africa. It was for purely economic reasons for the white people in America. From that time on until 1865, when slavery ended, there used to be a widespread philosophy popularized by white supremacists that the white race was superior to all and Black race was the most inferior. After slavery ended, there were still white folk who believed in white supremacy. And it might be shocking to you guys, but when slavery was about to end, that's when KKK, Ku Klux Klan, and Jim Crow laws were established. These were from people who did not want to partake in ending slavery, so they created their own organization to further the hate that they believed in. And for another century, they went on. And in 1965, as Sneha explained earlier, the Civil Rights Act followed, and that finally outlawed the discriminatory voting practices in the southern states. Just to put it into perspective for all of you guys, that was only 55 years ago. That's a lifetime. Some of our parents are 55. That is not very long ago. But Civil Rights Act by itself obviously could not end all racism. Black people were put into projects or government housing that triggered something called institutional racism. And this is the tricky part. We can all call out people who are racist in public. People who call Black people names, or they do it in front of your eyes. They say, "Oh, you're Black, I'm not going to treat you." That's easy to point out. Oh, yeah, that's racist. That's individual racism. But what we need to understand is the systemic racism that's been going on for 400 years. And this kind of racism is what is very hard to understand. And I try to find resources to better explain it, but frankly, there is not enough. There's not enough out there. One example of systemic racism is, like I said, government housing. Black people were all put into sections in America. And as you know, the communities are the ones that determine schools, that determine healthcare around them through taxes. That's how America works, right? With money, with our capitalistic thinking. And that's how America has thrived. But at the same time, that's how America has continued its discrimination, because our Black brothers and sisters that live in these government housing can't pay enough taxes as the white people that live in one community. So that's why there's a cycle where there's less standards for school, there's less standards for healthcare, and that continues on, and there's less standards for the police, and that's why police brutality has continued to this day. When they do research on cities like Baltimore, the same kind of violence that occurred in the 1970s, the 1980s, the 1990s, every decade till now, to this day, is the same. And it's in the same communities because of the system that they've created. So what can we do as Nepali Americans? Because we, like Sneha said, we owe a lot to our Black brothers and sisters that we are even in this country right now. So what can we do? On the outside, we can unite and protest. At least go out there, wear your mask, take a sign, and the least we can do is speak out against what's clearly wrong. We can vote for the right candidates. Please use your right of voting to do good. We got the right to vote due to our Black brothers and sisters. Let's use it to help them. And we can provide donations to organizations that are working towards ending police brutality, getting innocent people out of jail. There's a lot of good and there's a lot of organizations, nonprofits that are working tirelessly day in and day out. And all the least we can do is Venmo, transfer $5, $10, whatever you can. If we do it in unity, it'll be a big amount. There can be change. There can be innocent people who can be taken out of jail. But first, let's start in our own homes. Like Indu said, I just would like to reiterate, we can start by teaching our kids, our parents, or even our family here or in Nepal that Black people are good. They are just people. That seems trivial, but I know that a lot of South Asians, especially Nepalis, have preconceived notions that Black people are dangerous. When we go out on the street and see Black people, we seem to turn away. We seem to be scared. We seem to be fearful. And that same kind of fear is what's in the cops that are working day and night. They get tired, they get fearful, and then they shoot Black people. It comes from fear. So let's treat them as humans too. Let's not let the media dictate what you think of Black people. Let's not let one of your racist uncles who is not studied or educated themselves on Black culture determine how to treat Black people. Let's think about the fact that they are human too. We all bleed the same blood. So the least we can do is teach ourselves what we all know and what we're born with, that we're just one race, the human race. Thank you.
Ask to share a few words.
Trisha, was that me or? Oh, cool. Okay. So guys, I'm going to speak in Nepali just so that I address everything, and I'm also going to touch about some things happening in Nepal. So I'm going to switch language here. For once, please translate to your parent. Be translated from your parents. नमस्कार अनि न्यानो अभिवादन सबैलाई म विवेक अधिकारी हर्डन VA निवासी पेसाले डेटा साइन्टिस्ट र लिड सेल्स इन्जिनियरको रूपमा डीसीको एउटा हेल्थ डेटा स्टार्टअपमा क्रियाशील छु अध्ययनमा नर्थ वेस्टर्न युनिभर्सिटीबाट प्रेडिक्टिभ एनालिटिक्समा मास्टर्स पुरा गरेको छु भर्खरै सो या द्याट्स माई इन्ट्रो आज मैले यहाँ केही समयको लागि बोल्दै छु भन्दा बुवाले खुसी हुनुको सट्टा न्याउरो मुख लाउनु भयो he even tried to stop me saying नेपालीहरु धेरै ट्रम्प सपोर्टर छन् कुरा मन पर्दैन होला अनि रिसाउँछन् and wait for it समाजले के भन्छ समाजले के भन्छ भन्नुभयो I was like what समाजले के भन्छ भनेर हामी अलिकति संसार देखेको बुझेको पढेको संवेदनशील कहलिएका मान्छेहरु पनि चुप लागेर र वर्स सहीको भन्दा गलतको पक्ष लिएर हामीले पढेको बुझेको घुमेको के अर्थ भएर माला लाएर बस्ने घरमा आज यताको काला जातिका मान्छेहरुलाई संविधान विरुद्ध गैर कानुनी रूपमा छालाको रङको भरमा निर्दयी रूपमा घाटीमा खुट्टाले खिचेर मारिन्छ भने एकचोटि हैन बारम्बार यस्ता मान्छेहरु कालेको रूप मात्रै भएको भएर मारिन्छ छालाको रङले भेदभाव गरिन्छ भने भोलि यो तपाई हामी नेपाली साउथ एशियन पपुलेसनलाई यस्तो हुँदैन भन्ने के ग्यारेन्टी छ सोचौं त एकचोटि मनन गरौँ यो कुरा अघि मेरो साथीहरुले भन्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो कि हिस्ट्रीमा काला जातिहरुले गर्दा हामी अमेरिकामा यसरी बोल्न पाएको छौं यसरी बाहिर गएर के भन्न पाएको छौं धन्यवाद भन्नु काले हैन प्लिज फेरि भन्नु होला गफ दियो केटोले भनेर है। अमेरिकाको धेरै पुरानो होइन, लाइक 1945 75 इयर्स अघि है देखि 1995 रफली 25 इयर्ससम्म जापानिज अमेरिकनहरूलाई पर्ल हार्बर पश्चात घरबाट याद गर्नु, हजुर हामी जस्तै मोर्टगेज तिर्दै आफ्नो सम्पूर्ण जीवन लगानी गरेको स्थान, तरकारी बारी, फर्सीको मुन्टा उब्जाको ठाउँबाट आफ्नो सम्पूर्ण जीवनलाई तिलाञ्जली दिएर गलहत्याएर घरबाट निकालेर भुटानी रेफ्युजीहरूको क्याम्प हुन्छ नि नेपालमा, त्यसरी जापानिज अमेरिकन जो यहाँ जन्मे हुर्के पुस्तौँदेखि उनीहरूलाई एक दिन पर्ल हार्बरमा त्यस्तो भयो भनेर घरबाट निकालियो र आएर क्याम्पमा राखियो। हो यही अमेरिकै हो, काहीँ मैले बाहिरको कुरा गरेँ होइन। एकछिन मनन गरौँ यो कुरा। तपाईँहरूलाई नहोला तर तपाईँहरूको छोराछोरी नाति नातिनालाई हुन सक्छ यो कुरा। यही हुँदै गयो भने, यसरी हामी दमन सहँदै गयौँ भने। म आज पनि देख्छु आदरणीय ज्येष्ठ वर्गहरू आफूलाई कमजोर सोच्दै गोरा र अरूको अगाडि आफ्नो आत्मविश्वास र आत्मसम्मान खस्केको ख्याल नै नगरी आफूलाई एकदम दुःख र मेहनत गरेर जीवन निर्वाह गर्दा पनि आफूलाई गोरे र अरूभन्दा निकै कम र छोटो सोच्नुहुन्छ हजुरहरू। म कहिलेकाहीँ बुवासँग कुरा गर्दाखेरि ए त्यस्तो नगर्न बाबु हामी गोरे होइनौँ भन्नुहुन्छ। हामीले पनि तोकेको ट्याक्स तिरेछौँ हौ, नियम कानुन सम्मानपूर्वक निभाएको छौँ, पढेका छौँ, संसारको टप 1% विद्यार्थीहरूमा हामी कहलिन्छौँ। आफ्नो आत्मसम्मान र विश्वास किन सेक्रिफाइस गर्ने, के को लागि? यो देशमा नियम छ, कानुन छ, आफ्नै राइट्सको लागि फाइट गर्न सकिन्छ। तपाईँ पनि हामी समाजले के भन्छ भनेर मौन छौँ। कुन समाज? नेपाली समाज अमेरिकामा। आदरणीय ज्येष्ठ वर्गहरू, समाज हामीले नै त बनाउने हो नि। समाजका नीति तौर तरिका त हामीले नै सिर्जना गर्ने हो नि। पुराना खुलिएका रीतिहरू त्याग्दै समय सापेक्ष रिवाजको सृजना गर्ने जिम्मेवारी हामीमा छ, तपाईँमा छ। पुरानो चलिरहेको रीतिरिवाज, कास्ट सिस्टम जे छ, केही दिमाग युज नगरी, हामी त मानिस हौ, पशु होइनौ नि हो, हाम्रो दिमाग छ। लेट्स युज इट। कुन चाहिँ कास्ट सिस्टम, कुन चाहिँ रीति परम्परा सही हो, कुन चाहिँ गलत हो ठम्ब्याउने हामीसँग क्षमता छ हो, युज गरौँ। ढिलो भइसक्यो, साह्रै ढिलो भइसक्यो। मान्छेहरू मरेको मरै छन्। यो बाहिर यत्रो म्याडनेस देख्नुको कारण मान्छेहरूलाई सहनशीलता नभएर अब कति सहनु, वर्षौँदेखि सहिरहेको छ। तर हामी भाग्यमानी छौँ कि अहिलेको यो नयाँ पुस्ता आज यो कलमा 85 young people just within days rallied, came together, brought their parents, relatives together to come here, right? सबैजना हामी सँगै यसरी एकजुट भएका छौँ। कतिले त बुझ्नु भयो कि छैन होला कालीहरूलाई के भएको थियो भनेर, आज अलिकति थाहा भयो होला, राइट? नेपालको त कुरै नगरौँ, राइट? अमेरिकामा एटलिस्ट जागरुक छौँ, आफ्नो अधिकार र धैर्य बुझेका छौँ हामीले। हाम्रो अधिकार के हो, दायरा के हो, what are our rights and what are our boundaries, we know that. So let us speak out, the least we could do. रेसिजम र जातीय भेदलाई संविधानबाट त हटाइयो हो। उहिले नेपालमा पनि यहाँ पनि जातीय भेदभाव र उ चाहिँ संविधानबाट त हटाइयो, तर मान्छेको मन मस्तिष्कबाट, हाम्रो व्यवहारबाट, चलन चल्तीबाट कहिले हट्ने हो? Slavery छैन, तर what do we do? We're blatantly racist. Anyway, आशा छ मेरो बुवाले मैले समाजलाई नयाँ बाटोतिर डोराउन गरेको यो सानो जमर्कोले मुख निहुराएर हिँड्ने वातावरण नयाँ कि ठाडो पारेर जान सक्नुहोस्। यही कम्युनिटीमा भोलि यो 100 पार्कमा हिँड्दाखेरि ए मेरो छोरोले त अगेन्स्टमा बोलेछ भनेर अट्याक फिल नहोस्. Can someone applaud? Literally, people are getting out of their comfort zone, saying no to their parents, standing up. All 85 of us are here doing that. यसलाई त हस्तेमा के भन्छ, I forgot the other one. हैसे गर्नुपर्नेमा उल्टै खुट्टा तान्ने काम त गर्नु भएन नि. लास्टमा यस्तो समाज बनाऊँ कि भेदभाव गर्ने सोच आउँदा मात्रै पनि भेदभाव गर्नु त हुँदैन हो, रेसिस्ट जातिस्ट वाक्यहरू भन्नु हुँदैन हो भनेर समाजले नै, हाम्रो नेपालको सबभन्दा मनपर्ने कुरा नै समाज हो नि. त्यो समाजलाई हामीले परिवर्तन गरेर समाजले चाहिँ रेसिजमको अगेन्स्टमा उठ्ने समाज बनायो भने कसैले काले यस्ता हुन्छन्, काले उस्ता हुन्छन्, कालेसँग यो गर्नु हुँदैन, हिँड्नु हुँदैन, बोल्नु हुँदैन, त्यो भन्ने त्यो सामर्थ्य राख्नुभन्दा अगाडि नै उसलाई सेम गर्न सकियो भने, समाजले नै यस्तै बनाओस् कि जातीय भेदभाव गर्यो भने मान्छेलाई लाज हुने, कालो मुस्लो लाउनु भन्छ नि, त्यस्तो गर्न सकियो भने कस्तो होला. समाजले के भन्छ भन्ने होस्, नराम्रो सेन्समा होइन कि जाति भेदभाव गर्यो भने के भन्ने होस् भन्ने समाज बनाऊँ कृपया. मार्टिन लुथर किङको आई हेभ अ ड्रिम भन्ने लेखाइलाई कोट गर्दै हाम्रो यो नयाँ नेपाली पुस्ता 85 of us, the representative here and countless more outside, हाम्रो यो DMV, DC, मेरिल्यान्ड, भर्जिनिया र सम्पूर्ण विश्वभरका नेपाली समाज यस्तो होस् जातीय रङको आधारमा हुने भेदभावलाई जरे व्यवहार, रीतिरिवाज, परम्परा, कुराकानी र जीवनशैलीदेखि उखाल्दै आपसिक सम्मान र व्यवहारमा निर्मित समाज बनोस्. अनि पो हुन्छ त हामीलाई आहा नेपाली भन्नुमा गर्व. मलाई त लाज लाग्छ हो अहिले गएर नेपाली भन्न. एनिवे, धन्यवाद.
I don't think you can hear, but we're all clapping for you, Vivek. You said that so beautifully. I'm so happy and proud that I have friends like you. I have cousins, friends, and people who are willing to learn, who are willing to speak up and raise their voice. And I think that matters so much. तपाईले भन्नु कसैले के रङ कुरा भनेको छ भने भन्नु कि यस्तो भन्नु हुँदैन, सिकाउनुस्, हामी सिक्छौं हैन. अनि सिकेको कुरालाई हजुरले यतिकै इग्नोर नगर्नुस्. हामीले आज त यहाँ छौं, एउटा प्लेटफर्म छ, हामीले कुराहरू गरिरहेका छौं, तर आजदेखि भोलि गएर नबिर्सिनु कि हामीले के भनेका थियौं. I would like to pass it over to Neha. She's going to talk about some of the organizations that Naya will be donating to.
Hi everyone, namaste. My name is Neha Chare and I'm the Vice President of Naya. So on behalf of Naya, we will be donating to a couple of different funds which support the Black Lives Matter movement. And so today I will just be talking about a few of them and just talking about what they are about and kind of what they stand for. So the first fund is the official George Floyd Memorial Fund. This is a GoFundMe that was created by George Floyd's brother. And this fund was created to directly help the Floyd family with funeral expenses, counseling, lodging, and a plethora of other things as well. A portion of the funds will go to help his children and further their education too. Secondly, we have the Black Lives Matter Global Network. This network was created 4 years ago, and the donations that are collected from this network are used to provide resources for campaigns and future protests. This network's overall mission is to create a world where every single Black person has a social, economic, and political power to thrive. The last organization I'm going to be talking about today is Reclaim the Block. So Reclaim the Block is a Minneapolis-based organization that was created in 2018. So this organization is working to move money from the police department and into other areas of the city's budget that really promote community health and safety. Reclaim the Block is calling for their city to invest in things like violence prevention, housing, and resources for the youth. So these are just a few that we picked out, but there are so many other organizations and funds that you can donate to. We will be providing links at the end, so I really highly encourage everyone to check those out. You can honestly just do a simple Google search, and there are so many resources out there that display all these funds and organizations, so I really encourage everyone to check those out. So that is all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Neha. अनि अर्को कुरा हामीले नयाँ एकदमै सानो अर्गनाइजेसन छ अहिले तर नयाँले चाहिँ नि up to $100 को match. So तपाईहरुले कुनै अर्गनाइजेसनलाई डोनेट गर्नुभयो भने you can send it to me, you can send it to Vivek, Sneha, anybody that you know in this group. And then Naya चाहिँ नि $100 सम्म match गर्छ. So हजुरले 25 डोनेट गर्छ भने हामीले 25 नै डोनेट गर्छौं. So just putting that out there. Suzelle would like to go next. I would like to welcome her to share a few words about how you can be involved.
Hi, can everyone hear me? First of all, यहाँ उपस्थित सबै बुवा आमा, दाजु दिदी, भाइ बहिनी हरूलाई म हर्ने निवासी सुजल सिग्देलको तर्फबाट नमस्कार। म अहिले युनिभर्सिटी अफ भर्जिनियामा प्री मेडिसिनमा ब्याचलर गरिरहेको छु। UVA-मै म अहिले नेपाली स्टुडेन्ट एसोसिएसन र हिन्दू स्टुडेन्ट काउन्सिलको प्रेसिडेन्टको रूपमा पनि नेतृत्व पनि गरिरहेको छु। First of all, यो कार्यक्रममा प्रस्तुत भई यस्तो कठिन परिस्थितिमा यस्तो महत्त्वपूर्ण कार्यक्रम अर्गनाइज आयोजना गर्नुभएकोमा ट्रिशा र entire Naya family-लाई मेरो धेरै धेरै thank you. अघि विवेक दाइले भने जस्तै अहिले हामी चुप लागेर बस्ने अप्सन छैन. We're making a statement by staying silent. So silence is a statement in itself. हामी सबैलाई थाहा छ कि अमेरिकाको कानुन कमजोर छैन. यहाँको संविधान as in constitution and law ले सबैलाई बराबर हक अधिकार दिएको छ. तैपनि कानुनको well implementation भइरहेको छैन. हामी यो समस्याको समाधान गर्न अथवा आफ्नो आवाजको महत्त्वपूर्ण दिने अवसर यो नोभेम्बरको इलेक्सन हो. छालाको रङले गर्दा मान्छेलाई विभाजित गर्ने पक्ष निर्वाचित गर्ने कि सबैलाई समान रूपमा र बराबर मान्ने पक्षलाई निर्वाचित गर्ने अवस्था अगाडि बढाउने यो कुरा हाम्रो भोटमा भर पर्छ. यतिखेर सबैभन्दा आफ्नो राइट्सको प्रयोग गरेर ठुलो स्टेटमेन्ट बनाउने प्लेटफर्म भनेको इलेक्सन्स हो. Because every single vote matters and counts. अघि विवेक दाइले मेन्सन गर्नुभएको जस्तै जापानिज अमेरिकनले सहेको भेदभावको उदाहरण दिएर अर्कोचोटि हामी नेपाली, इन्डियन, साउथ एसियन अथवा हामी जस्तो ब्राउन छाला भएका हुनेलाई टार्गेट नगरोस्. हजुरहरूको म जस्तो छोराछोरीलाई टार्गेट नगरोस् भनेर अहिलेदेखि नै सुनिश्चित गर्ने कि अझै पनि चुप लागेर चलिरहेछ भइरहेछ भनेर बस्ने. So let's not be quiet, not now, not in June, not in November. So please exercise your right to vote. Pay attention to these candidates' responses to what is happening in your communities. Pay attention to how they show up for us. Pay attention to see if their actions match their words. Pay attention to how well they lead. निर्णय हामीहरूको भोटर्सको हातमा छ. लास्टमा जानभन्दा अगाडि I just want to say, please be safe, please be kind, and most of all, please help make a difference. Namaskar.
Thank you, Sujal. Beautifully said. I'll come to your classes all the time. Thank you, and it is so important. Voting, it's a privilege. It's not something that's just out there for fun. It's a privilege. Please exercise your right. Go and vote. It is our duty to vote. I think I'm in awe of everybody that spoke. So thank you so much. But we have two more things. I have Arya who would like to recite a short poem. So Arya, wherever you are, please unmute yourself.
Hi everyone, can you guys hear me? Okay. Hi everyone and namaste. I'm Arya, and in respect of all those who have been affected by police brutality and racism, I just wanted to say that Black Lives Matter. I once read that just the fact that humanity has to clarify that any lives matter at all should be concerning enough, and I agree. At the end of the day, we're all equal. We're all humans, and no matter what race, culture, and color we come from. Thank you. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Arya. And then I know Alok has a little activity that he wants us to do. So Alok, you want to come to the camera, show everybody your new haircut? Go ahead, whenever you're ready.
I would like for us to all take a I would like for all of us to take a moment of silence for all the lives that have been taken and affected due to police brutality. Let's remember their names forever. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and many more. The moment of silence will start now.
Thank you. Thank you, Alok. Thank you, Arya. And thank you, every single one of you, for being here today. Just know that just coming here is a big deal. Coming here and willing to listen and learn is a big deal. तपाईँहरूले केही क्वेसनहरू छ भने please ask us. We are here to help you. We're here as a resource. And we will do whatever we can. If you would like to do something together, we're here to learn. We're here to take action. We're here to do whatever we can. हजुरहरू एक्लै होइसिन्न, हामीहरू छौँ, हामीलाई सोध्नुहोस् के गर्न मिल्छ भनेर हामीले हजुरहरूलाई जे गर्न सकिन्छ हामीले गर्छौँ। सकेन भने पनि हामीले जहाँबाट भए पनि खोजेर हामीले गरौँला, सँगै गरौँला। हामी it starts with one. हामी आफ्नोबाट सुरु हुन्छ, हामीले आफूले के भनेका छौँ त्यो सोच्नुपर्छ। आफ्नो घरबाट त्यसपछि आफ्नो घरमा जान्छ अनि त्यसपछि बाहिर जान्छ हैन। So let's talk about it with your families. And let's not be silent, and let's keep remembering, let's keep doing things like this. And I'm so incredibly proud of all the speakers and every single one of you that have come today and be present and listen to all of us. I know we said we'll leave some room for Q&As. So Kosaleki, if you guys have something to say, you guys are more than welcome to. Just unmute yourself and you're more than welcome to say something and share something that you want to.
I can say something.
Yeah.
Can you guys see me? Namaste Salvazana. My name is Bashesh, and I'm speaking to you from Dallas, Texas. And one thing I've been thinking about is here in Dallas, we have a huge Nepalese community. We have thousands of Nepali people. And I know for a fact that if I went running outside and I got shot and wrongfully killed from an act of racism, then the whole Nepali community would come flooding with support for me. There would be services at mandirs, there would be fundraisers, aunties and uncles that don't even know my family would fight for me. So what I'm trying to say is, why can't we have that same fight for the Black community? We're so quick to support people that look like us. So I encourage all of you guys to get out of your comfort zone, because in the end, regardless of race, religion, politics, we're all people trying to live fulfilling and happy lives. So do what you can to help support others. And yeah, I just wanted to get that out. Dhanyavad.
Thank you. Arati Auntie, I know you said you wanted to say a few words, so go ahead.
यहाँहरु सबैलाई नमस्कार अनि सबैलाई धन्यवाद यस्तो राम्रो कार्यक्रम. I was not expecting that well it will go, but Trisha, thank you so much for sending me invitation. Vivek Adhikari, Seya, Sujal, Neha, Trisha and Lalit, यु आर अमेजिङ यति राम्रोसँग कि सधैँ भेटभाट भइराखे पनि यति राम्रोसँग यस्तो विषयहरुमा कुरा गरेको देख्दाखेरि एकदमै मैले आफूलाई फर्स्ट जेनेरेसन कन्सिडर गर्छु त्यही भएर फर्स्ट जेनेरेसनलाई पनि एउटा शिक्षा दिएको जस्तो फिल भएको छ सो दिस मेसेज निड्स टु गो बियोन्ड दिस जुम यो बाहिर पनि फैलाउनु पर्छ किनभने यहाँ 84-85 जतिजना हुनुहुन्छ उहाँहरू मलाई लाग्छ 60% जति सेकेन्ड जेनेरेसन हुनुहुन्छ जुन चाहिँ फर्स्ट जेनेरेसन भएको अझै राम्रो हुन्थ्यो हैन त्यही भएर रियली प्राउड अफ यु गाइज अनि अर्को कुरा जस्ट लाइक इन अ गार्डन त्यतिखेर सुन्दर हुन्छ जब त्यहाँ विभिन्न रङका फुलहरू फुल्छन् र भगवानले हामीलाई विभिन्न खालको फुलहरू बनाएको कोही गोरा छन् कोही काला छन् भने कोही ब्राउन छन् र हिजो आज जुन घटनाहरू घटिरहेको छ मैले के देखेको छु भने अबबाट केही वर्ष पछाडि हामीलाई पनि त्यो पक्कै हुन्छ किन हुन्छ भने अहिलेको लागि हामीले माइनोरिटी भनेछौँ ब्ल्याक कम्युनिटीलाई माइनोरिटी भनेका छौँ तर ब्ल्याक भन्दा पनि त हामी माइनोरिटी हो नि त त्यही भएर हाम्रो सेकेन्ड जेनेरेसनले यस्ता प्रब्लमहरू सहन्छन् मलाई याद छ म एउटा ठाउँमा काम गर्थेँ क्यान्ससमा 2004 मा म किचनमा काम गर्थेँ र ब्रेकफास्ट अर्डर लिँदै थिएँ एउटा जेन्टलम्यान ही वाज रियली वेल ड्रेस व्हाइट जेन्टलम्यान मेरो अगाडि आउनुभयो म भर्खर नेपालबाट आएको 2-3 महिना मात्रै भएको थियो र उसको क्वेसन थियो आर यु अ मुस्लिम मैले भने हत्तरपत्तर भने नो 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 आई एम अ हिन्दू भने हैन त्यसपछि अनि भने सो आर यु फ्रम मिडल इस्ट भने नो आई एम फ्रम नेपाल भने सो यु केम हियर टु स्टडी एन्ड यु आर गोइङ टु मेक बम्स अगेन्स्ट अस भनेर उसले त्यसरी नै भने मलाई र त्यो बेलामा म भर्खर आएको मान्छे मैले अलिअलि बुझेँ अलिअलि बुझिनँ बुझेको चाहिँ यति नै थिएँ र त्यसपछि मलाई कस्तो फिल भयो अनि मैले उसलाई के भन्नु त आई वाज इन सक मलाई डर लाग्यो मान्छे मलाई मार्छ कि भनेर अनि मैले त्यतिखेर के भने हत्तरपत्तर के भने आई एम फ्रम नेपाल कन्ट्री अफ बुद्ध भनेर मैले आफूलाई डिफेन्ड गरेँ के त्यो भाषामा मलाई अहिले सम्झ्दा हाँसो लाएर आउँछ कि मैले त्यतिखेर जे जाने त्यही गरेँ होइन त्यस्तो मानसिकता छ वरिपरि छ र हामीले आफूलाई फर्स्ट ट्रेन गर्नुपर्छ हामीले के ट्रेन गरिरहेका छौँ भने काला मान्छेहरू भनेको अलिकति दे आर सिम्बल अफ डेन्जर फर अस हामीले दिमागमा त्यो लिएर आएको र त्यही कुराहरू अघि नै यहाँ सबैजनाले भने जस्तो हामीले छोराछोरीलाई पनि त्यो कता कति दिएछौँ रुममेट एउटा ब्ल्याक छ भने हामीले त्यो आफ्नो फ्रेन्डलाई भन्न चाहँदैनौँ मेरो छोराको फर्स्ट रुममेट एउटा ब्ल्याक स्टुडेन्ट थियो VCU-मा आई रियली डिडन्ट वान्ट टु टेल एनीवन एन्ड आई वान्टेड माई सन नट टु टेल एनीवन किनभने कस्तो भयो भने उसले ऱ्यान्डमली चुज गर्दा ऱ्यान्डम तर हि वाज सच अ नाइस गाय हैन तर मैले भन्न चाहिनँ आई वान्टेड टु बी अनेस्ट हियर र मैले मेरो छोरालाई पनि भनेको थिएँ नभन्नु उसले यहाँ 2-4 जना मान्छे भएको बेला झुक्किएर मुखबाट निस्किहालेछ र त्यो चाहिँ एउटा गसिपको एउटा कुरो पनि भयो त्यस्तो खालको समाजमा हामी बसेका छौँ र त्यस्तै खालको प्र्याक्टिस म पनि गरिरहेको छु म आफूले पनि गरेको छु त्यही भएर चेन्ज निड्स टु ह्यापन सो लेट्स सपोर्ट द चेन्ज लेट्स टेल एभ्रीबडी इभन आई हेभ हर्ड समबडी आज एकजनाले के भन्नुभयो भने $10 को लागि यदि एउटा कालो मान्छे आएर एउटा नेपालीलाई गोली हानेर ग्यास स्टेसनमा मार्छ र त्यसको लागि वाइल्ड लाइफ डजन्ट म्याटर्स भनेर उहाँले भन्नुभयो आफ्नो कुरा हैन त्यो मान्छे एउटा मान्छेले मारेको यहाँ त पुलिस फोर्सले मारेको छ देयर इज अ बिग डिफरेन्स हामीले त्यो कुरा चाहिँ बुझाउनु पर्छ किनभने एउटा मान्छेले मार्नु एउटा के अरे भनौँ न अज्ञानताले मार्नु र जुन मान्छेलाई चाहिँ समाजले यो हाम्रो रक्षक 911 why do we call 911 because we know they are here to save us त्यही मान्छेले मार्नु भनेको that's the big deal हो नि त अहिले त्यो हो त्यही भएर हामीले त्यो चाहिँ एजुकेट गर्नु छ र सँगसँगै म के पनि भन्न चाहन्छु भने भोलि यहाँ हरण्डनमा एउटा कार र्याली हुँदैछ प्लिज कम एन्ड जोइन यु विल बी इन योर कार जोइन गरौँ हैन र अगेन थ्याङ्क यू सो मच यो अर्गनाइजेसनमा म त्यति थाहा छैन यो अर्गनाइजेसनको बारेमा थ्याङ्क यू सो मच एन्ड देन लेट्स स्टार्ट द चेन्ज फ्रम हियर थ्याङ्क यू
Thank you, Auntie. I acknowledge you, I support you, and I agree with everything that you said. We are all here to support each other, so thank you for being that voice. Does anybody else last?
Yeah, hi. Oh, sorry. Okay. Hi, can you guys hear me? Yes. Hello? Can you guys hear me? Yes, okay. So I actually joined this Zoom call because one of my friends posted on her Instagram that this was happening. I'm currently located in Minneapolis. So everything that's going on is very local. I went to the University of Minnesota for 4 years, and I'm currently in grad school in Minnesota as well. So this is where my home is. This is where I grew up. So seeing so much support from different areas is like astounding, especially from a community that I didn't think cared enough about this to like speak up. I am the president of sorry, this is so emotional for me. I'm currently the president of the Nepali Student Association at the U. And I was hoping to do something like this, but we have 4 undergraduate Nepalis at my school. So there's just the amount of support that we get here from my own Nepali community is so small and dwindling, and I would love to share what you guys are doing and everything that you have with my community. And I just want to say that you guys are very inspiring, and I very, very, very much appreciated what you guys did here. So thank you.
We love you. We support you. If there's anything that we can do virtually to help you and support you, we are there. You can count on us 100%. Don't think you're alone. It's era of technology, so we can be there whenever you need us. You just let us know and we'll be there. I know I can't even imagine how hard this must be for you, especially you're there, you're witnessing this. We see it in the news where we're far away from the TV. We watch it online, but you're there, and I'm so sorry that you're having to go through this, but just know that you're loved and you're appreciated, and you are always supported by us. So just make sure you know that, okay? I know, Ubrinda, you wanted to say a few words, so go.
Sure. सबभन्दा पहिला त congratulations है सबैलाई यस्तो अर्गनाइजेसन सेटअप गरेकोमा. Can you guys hear me? And especially त्यो अहिलेको बहिनीको नेपालीबाट चाहिँ म एकदम इम्प्रेस भएँ. So kudos to that, है. Just quick few notes. मैले पर्सनली किन यो इस्युलाई चाहिँ अलिकति नियरली हेर्छु भन्दाखेरि म लास्ट 10 years or so as a city planner चाहिँ African American communities my majority African American communities मा काम गरेर हो हैन. नर्थ न्यू जर्सी थाहा छ कि छैन सबैले त्यहाँको प्लानिङ डिपार्टमेन्टमा काम गरे. त्यो र अलि काम गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ धेरै अरू इस्युजहरु धेरै थाहा भयो. खाली अब अलि अघि विकलले भने जस्तै एलिफेन्ट इन द रुम चाहिँ के भन्दाखेरि पर्टिकुलरली नट ओन्ली व्हाइट कम्युनिटी है, साउथ एसियन कम्युनिटीमा पनि स्टेरियोटाइपहरु एकदमै धेरै छ. पर्टिकुलरली जो चाहिँ यहाँ स्कुल कलेज अर अफिसको एक्सपिरियन्सबाट चाहिँ त्यो लर्न गरे आउँदैन, तिनीहरुको लागि चाहिँ अलिकति गाह्रै हुन्छ. सो एलिफेन्ट इन द रुम भनेको के हो भन्दाखेरि अब यहाँ कसैले अब आफ्नो फ्यामिलीमा चाहिँ यु नो कालीहरुले यस्तो गर्छ उस्तो गर्छ भन्यो भने चाहिँ अलि ह्युमरसली त्यो उनीहरूले गरेर नै हामीले ग्रीन कार्ड पाएको हो भनेर चाहिँ स्टार्ट कन्भर्सेसन चाहिँ स्टार्ट गर्नु पर्यो है. त्यो हार्ट एन्ड सेलर एक्ट भनेर 1965 को सिभिल राइट एक्ट भएको कुरा भयो नि हैन. त्यो एक्ट नभएको भए चाहिँ अहिले कोही पनि नन ककेशियन हरूलाई चाहिँ अमेरिकामा सिटिजनशिप अर पर्मानेन्ट रेसिडेन्स हुने थिएन. अर्को इम्पोर्टेन्ट कुरा के हो भने अलिक हिस्टोरिकली हेर्यो भने यहाँको हरेक प्रोग्रेसिभ मुभमेन्टमा हरेक पोलिटिकल मुभमेन्टमा ब्ल्याकहरुको सिग्निफिकेन्ट कन्ट्रिब्युसन छ. सबैलाई थाहा नहोला, म अलिकति गुगल टर्महरु यहाँ युज गर्छु किनकि टाइम छैन हैन. गुगल गर्दाखेरि हुन्छ फ्रेडरिक डगलस भन्ने चाहिँ एउटा फर्स्ट अफ्रिकन अमेरिकन लिडर थियो 18th century 19th century को हैन. उले चाहिँ फर्स्ट आफूलाई इमान्सिपेट गरे हो. नाम सुनेको छ कि छैन थाहा छैन. त्यो फ्रेडरिक डगलसको बारेमा अलिकति रिड गरे हुन्छ, अलिकति थाहा हुन्छ हिस्ट्री है. बिफोर मार्टिन लुथर किङ, हेरियट टममेनको अन्डरग्राउन्ड रेल रोडको कुराहरू छ हैन. त्यो धेरै कुराहरू छ. ब्याक हिस्ट्री चाहिँ नि बोर्ड अफ ब्राउन भर्सेस बोर्ड अफ एजुकेसनको कुराहरू छ, सेग्रिगेसन हैन, अघि जिम क्रोको कुरा भयो. यो सबैको चाहिँ डरहरू कनेक्ट गर्दै आजसम्म आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ अमेरिका कुन स्टेजमा हुनुपर्ने हो र कुन स्टेजमा छ त्यो चाहिँ आफूले अलिकति क्लियरिटी पाउँछ. अब पर्टिकुलरली अब रेसिजमको डिफ्रेन्ट टाइप्स हुन्छ. यो त अब अहिलेको त हामीले त यो मर्डरको कुरा गरिरहेको छौँ, किलिङको कुरा गरिरहेको छौँ. तर अफ्रिकन अमेरिकनहरूलाई चाहिँ सिस्टमिक र स्ट्रक्चरल रेसिजम चाहिँ धेरै हिसाबले चाहिँ नि अफेक्ट गरिरहेको छ. जस्तो कि अब रेड लाइनिङ भने थाहा छैन धेरैलाई हैन. रेड लाइनिङ भने चाहिँ वर्ल्ड वार सेकेन्ड पछि यहाँ चाहिँ जिआई बिल चाहिँ उ भन्यो हैन, जिआई बिल इस्टाब्लिस भयो. त्यो जिआई बिलले चाहिँ अफ्रिकन अमेरिकनहरूलाई एक्सक्लुड गरे कि मतलब अरू व्हाइट अमेरिकनहरूले चाहिँ घर किन्नको लागि इजिली लोन पाउने हैन अनि तर चाहिँ अफ्रिकन अमेरिकनहरूले चाहिँ नपाउने रेड लाइनिङ भने चाहिँ अझै अफ्रिकन अमेरिकनहरूको पर्टिकुलर एरियालाई रेड लाइन नै गरेर कलर अफ ल भन्ने बुक छ हेरे पनि हुन्छ कसैले हैन रेड लाइन नै गरेर त्यो एरियामा चाहिँ लोनहरू नदिने ब्याङ्कहरूले फाइनेन्सै नगर्ने सो रिजल्ट के भयो भने फर इक्जाम्पल अब फ्लिन्ट मिशिगनमा हामीले अलिक धेरै अस्ति वाटर क्राइसिसको कुराहरू सुन्यौँ हैन जब इन्डस्ट्रीहरू डाउन भयो हैन इन्डस्ट्रीहरू डाउन भयो व्हाइट अमेरिकन कुड अफोर्ड टु गो लिभ आउटसाइड के उनीहरूले पर्चेस गर्ने उनीहरूसँग फाइनेन्स गर्ने सबै मेकानिजम थियो तर ब्ल्याक अमेरिकनहरूसँग त्यो थिएन त्यसैले तिनीहरूलाई चाहिँ अब जहाँ छ त्यही नै अन्डर सब एउटा चाहिँ क्वालिटी पुर क्वालिटी अफ लिभिङ कन्डिसनमा चाहिँ त्यहाँ बस्नु पर्यो कि अब त्यो अहिले हामीले गेटो भन्छ नि कोट अनकोट गेटो भन्ने टर्म हैन त्यसरी चाहिँ हरेक लेयरमा चाहिँ रेसिजम छ हरेक लेयरको रेसिजमलाई चाहिँ अब फाइट गर्नको लागि फर्स्ट नेक्स्ट जेनेरेसनहरू चाहिँ नि अब कम्तीमा पनि हामी त फर्स्ट जेनेरेसन नेक्स्ट जेनेरेसन अनअपोलोजेटिक हुनु पर्यो कि डोन्ट बी अफ्रेड टु अफेन्ड समवन when it comes to this kind of issue हैन don't be afraid हैन अलिकति स्पिक अप अलिकति लाउडली भन्ने आफू अनकम्फर्टेबल फिल गरेको कुराहरू भन्ने वर्क प्लेसमा स्कुलमा हरेक ठाउँमा चाहिँ घरमा सबै ठाउँमा भन्ने हैन त्यो अलिकति हरेक हिसाबले लेयरले चाहिँ फाइट गर्ने हो र मेरो छोराले मलाई बाबा भन्दैछ हैन नेक्स्ट जेनेरेसन हो हैन यहाँ मैले टर्न्स अफ कुराहरू छ भन्दाखेरि हैन तर मैले त्यही भन्छु कि अलिकति हिस्टोरिकली के भएको थियो हैन आफ्नो घरमा एजुकेट गराउँदाखेरि अहिले के भइरहेछ र भोलि के हुन सक्छ त्यो सबै कुराहरू चाहिँ अलिकति हाम्रो नयाँ जेनेरेसनले अलिकति एजुकेट गर्ने इन्फर्म गर्ने र अर्गनाइज गर्ने एक्टिभिजम गर्ने हरेक ठाउँबाट गऱ्यो भने चाहिँ अब कतिसम्म मिटिगेट हुन्छ त थाहा छैन तर केही न केही चाहिँ हुन्छ त्यति भन्दै मलाई चाहिँ धेरै भन्नु थियो तर ठिकै छ यतिमै म स्टप गरेँ
Thank you, Pranadai. Just wanted to reinstate, or Auntie, you said the rally is tomorrow. It's fully at 5:30.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you guys would like to participate, all you need is a car. If you like to carpool, go ahead and organize that with somebody. And then one more thing, June 16 is the deadline for the absentee ballot in Virginia. So please make sure you're looking out for that. If you need help, reach out someone for help. It's okay to ask someone for help. But thank you so much, everyone. I know I'm but thank you so much for being so patient, listening, and being here. About Naya ke Habani. Naya, yeah. Naya, organized we will make sure we let you know. Before you guys go, if you guys can write down your email on the chat box, so we can email you all the resources, the slides, and if you want the recording of this conversation that we had today. But if anyone else has some questions, yes, you can join this particular group. It's inclusive. You may join if you would like to.
I would like to say something if it's okay.
Yeah, of course.
नमस्ते म विवेक म चाहिँ डेटोना बीच फ्लोरिडाबाट छु सबैजनाको कुरा सुनेर मलाई एकदमै खुसी लाग्यो सबैजनालाई न्यानो अभिवादन पनि छ एकदमै खुसी लाग्यो एकदमै बधाई पनि छ यो कम्युनिटीले चाहिँ यसरी आएर आफ्नो कुराहरू राख्न पाउँदाखेरि सबैलाई खुसी पनि लाग्छ अघि नै विवेकले भने जस्तै अहिले हामी एउटा दुईटा जेनेरेसनमा छौं अनि एउटा जेनेरेसनले एक तरिकाले सोच्छ अर्को जेनेरेसनले अर्कै तरिकाले सोच्छ तर हामीमा चाहिँ वाद विवाद भएन कुराकानी भएन भने चाहिँ त्यो प्रब्लम कहिले पनि सल्भ हुँदैन र हामी भन्दा अगाडिको जेनेरेसनलाई जहिले पनि हेल्प गर्नुपर्छ दे नीड हेल्प टु अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड द सिचुएसन हैन त्यो छ अनि मलाई आरती दिदीले भनेको कुराले एकदमै मनमा छोयो किनभने चाहिँ मलाई यतिसम्म थाहा थिएन कि हामी चाहिँ कालेहरुसँग फ्रेन्डली भयौं उनीहरु हाम्रो रुममेट भयो भने पनि हामीलाई चाहिँ त्यो आफ्नो समाजमा भन्न पनि अप्ठ्यारो लाग्छ भनेको मलाई एकदमै ठुलो शक किनभने म चाहिँ एचबीसीयू गएको हुँ हिस्टोरिकली ब्ल्याक युनिभर्सिटी सबै 96% स्टुडेन्ट्स मेरो युनिभर्सिटीमा ब्ल्याक नै थिए मेरो श्रीमती पनि त्यही कलेज गएको हामी एकदमै त्यो कलेजमा एकदमै चिनिन्छौं हामी एकदमै सबै प्रोग्रामहरुमा पनि भाग लिन्छौं र हामीलाई यो कुरामा एकदमै प्राउड छ हामी जुन सिटीमा बस्छौं डेटोना बीच अलरेडी नै मेजोरिटी ब्ल्याक कम्युनिटी भएको चाहिँ सिटी हो र हामीलाई यहाँ बस्दाखेरि पनि एकदमै प्राउड छ केही पनि प्रब्लम छैन। तर जब मैले त्यस्तो कुराहरू सुने अनि जब मैले विवेकबाट पनि सुने हाम्रो भर्जिनियाकै एरियाहरूमा पनि धेरै जस्तो ट्रम्प सपोर्टर हुनुहुन्छ, उहाँहरूले चाहिँ ब्ल्याक लाइभ्स म्याटरलाई सपोर्ट गरेको चित्त नबुझाउनु हुन्छ होला भन्ने जस्तो कुरा मलाई त एकदमै सक लाग्यो। र यस कारणले गर्दाखेरि मलाई यो कुरा भन्न मन लाग्यो कि होइन, मेरो धेरै काले साथीहरू छन्, धेरै मेरो अलमोस्ट सबै प्रोफेसरहरू कालेहरू नै हुनुहुन्छ। मैले काम गर्ने ठाउँमा धेरै मान्छेहरू पनि काले हुनुहुन्छ र हामी सबैजना मिलेर काम गर्छौँ र एकअर्कालाई रेस्पेक्ट गर्छौँ। ठाउँ बेला बेलामा हुन्छ कुराहरू मिल्दैन, कहिलेकाहीँ मलाई अरूले हेपे जस्तो लाग्छ, काले गोरे चाइनिज होस् कोरियन होस् जोसुकै होस्, र कहिलेकाहीँ मैले पनि उनीहरूलाई हेपेको जस्तो लाग्छ होला। तर हामी एउटै समाजमा बसेर मिलेर काम गर्छौँ र आजसम्म सबै कुरा राम्रैसँग चलिरहेको छ। त्यस कारणले गर्दाखेरि कृपया कोही पनि कालेसँग साथी भयो अथवा काले रुममेट भयो, कालेसँग पढ्नु पर्यो भनेर चाहिँ माइन्ड नगर्नु होला। माइन्ड गर्नु भनेको नै तपाईँहरूले धेरै कुरा सिक्न बाँकी छ बुझ्नु होला। यति नै भन्न चाहन्छु।
I know सबैजना mute भइसक्छ, but I would like for you guys to give yourselves a round of applause and everybody else that spoke. So thank you all. Thank you to Suskriti for being so kind and letting us use her Zoom account, because we would have gotten kicked out at 45 minutes. So thank you, Suskriti. I will send out to all the people that sent us their email accounts. I will go ahead and send all the resources. And then I'll also send in how you can join Naya and all the social media and all that stuff. But thank you. I'm so proud. I'm so happy. Like, I could cry right now, but I'm so happy. Thank you so much. This was like a vision for this organization, and I feel like we're getting so much closer to just being kind to one another. And I'm hopeful for the next generation. And thank you all so much. And you guys can feel free to say your goodbyes. Bye. Thank you all so much.
Hi, there's something that I really wanted to ask about. Just to give some context on me, my name's Salila, and I'm located in Colorado. I'm in the Nepali student organization at CU Boulder, and it's a really big community. But I wrote down what I'm gonna say because I'm not as well spoken as you guys. You guys did amazing today, by the way. But my question was that I have found that within the younger generation, the use of the N-word is almost justified because we're minorities. And personally, I've had a hard time dealing with this because I think everyone in here knows it's obviously not okay. But I have a hard time conveying that to people that do think it's okay. So I just wanted to open up the conversation and hear about your guys' stories about how you've dealt with this, or if you've dealt with this, and how to move forward from that.
I just have an input on that. I think many of us, we hear it in hip hop and rap and the music that we listen to. So many people think that is justifiable because it's hey, if everyone's saying it, what's so wrong with me saying it? But what people don't realize is that the people who are saying those words in music, they're reclaiming the word for themselves because it's been used for so many years to degrade them and demean them that they're you know what, we're not going to take it anymore. We're using this to make ourselves more empowered. And I think I have had also my own family members say the N-word, and every single time I'm hey, please don't use it, please don't use it. But they're it's just a word. I also visited Nepal a couple of years ago, and my cousin, who has never been to America, he's always oh Didi, already rap sununcha, already yoga nuncha, ramailo lagcha, and I'm yeah, it's cool and stuff. And then he was explicitly saying the N-word, and I'm do you even know the meaning of that? And do you even know what it means to say it and actually, internalize it? But obviously he didn't know because it's very widespread and everyone uses it. So I think the conversation is to have with your family members about what the word actually means without explicitly saying it, obviously, and just telling them it's been used for hundreds of years as a way to demean people, and if you're not part of that population, then you shouldn't be using it. And even with the youth, we've learned this in school. So everyone who has gone to school in America, Nepali people, you've learned this in school that you're not supposed to say it. So I think once people come out of that environment and are with their group, then they start using it and feel comfortable saying it, and and they're explicitly saying like, it doesn't matter, like I'm brown, like I have a black friend, and justifying it that way. And I've heard this saying many times that it's like everyone wants to be black and everyone wants to be a part of black culture until it's time to actually be black, right? So that's like the one thing that people have to internalize. It's like you want to wear cornrows and you want to say these words and you want to act a certain way until you actually get profiled as black. Then you're like, no, I don't want to associate with that. So that's something that people have to realize within themselves. And honestly, not pointing to you directly, but if people who have gone to school here and have learned all this history and they are in college or they're out of college and they still don't know the significance of why saying the word is wrong, then that's on them. That's on them being ignorant, and that's on them not educating themselves, because it's not on you or it's not on anyone to educate them why it's wrong. There are multiple sources that they can look up. It's the era of the internet. You have social media everywhere. You have resources and everything everywhere. So you shouldn't bear the responsibility of teaching someone why something is wrong. They should just know it. So if they choose to be ignorant and they choose to not learn about it, then that's really on them, and that's their character. So that's all I have to say about that. Hopefully it helped. I just was rambling.
That's really well spoken.
I wanted to add something, if that's okay.
We'll just keep this open. Go ahead.
All right, so I definitely get where you're coming from. High school, and even like my public school system, it was even up until I graduated, it was very accepted to say the N-word, just like out and blatantly. And at one point it was even like an inside joke between a lot of like the quote unquote like popular people at my high school. And I mean, I still see it like to this day, like so many South Asians using the N-word, and it's justified by so many different reasons that like I can't even sit here and name them for you. But I think the biggest thing is, and I believe it was talked about a few times, is creating a culture of almost, it's like calling them out every time they do it. Because I know it gets to a point sometimes where, they say it once, they say it twice, and you get really like passionate and angry about it. And then they say it again and again. And then eventually it just turns into an eye roll, or just like, that person's just like that. But I think if we are able to get into a habit of calling that stuff out as it happens, every single time, and holding these people that you might at one point consider close to you and kind of stepping back and reassessing, like, can I be friends with somebody that knows the impacts of this word and like openly chooses to openly use it over and over and over again. And I think it's just good to keep that in mind with your interactions with people. Is we're no longer at a place, especially with the privilege that we have, to kind of just let our friends get away with saying that stuff, because they're your friends. And at the end of the day, like, if they don't want to be friends with you because you get upset at them for using a word like that, then you might want to, reassess where that friendship lies, and then just make a habit of calling them out every single time until it gets annoying to them and they stop doing it.
Thank you.
I absolutely 100% agree with that. Can I speak? Sorry. I don't know if another person was next in line, but okay. So, I'm from Harrisburg, and it's a very minority dense population. We have a lot of Latino people here, and a lot of Black people, and a lot of Nepali people here. And so I went to high school with majority Black students, and there are a lot of us too, and so did my brother and my cousin. I somehow never ever picked up the N-word. I lived with a Black girl for 3 years in college, but I never picked up the N-word. But my brother and my cousin, they did. Whether it was just hanging out with their friends or playing games at home, like, I heard that word at least once a day. And with my brother, we live together, so I can call him out every time he does that. But with my cousin, I couldn't do that. And besides, he moved away anyway, so I can't hold him responsible for that. But my brother, every time he said that word, like, I would talk to him about it. And my brother's girlfriend also talked to him about it, so he stopped now. So I guess there's a positive result there, just talking about things. Go ahead, next person. That was it.
Thank you. I agree. Just call them out. Tell them it's wrong. Have these conversations. And I feel like I feel like you guys are all doing a good job of that. So thank you. Any last words?
Sorry, I also wanted to chip in earlier. My name is Pragya. I'm from Jersey City, New Jersey. And I just wanted to say that Hami Haru, we chose to come to America. Our family had the option to come to America. No one was forced to come here. But the Black community, their ancestors they did not have that option. They did not have that choice, right? So they were forced to come here, and they were basically held against their will to build up this country. So for us to not be there and not to support them in every single way that we can, it's almost kind of, it's like you lose self-respect in yourself, kind of, because why wouldn't you show up for a community that has done so much for you to get to this point? And when we talk about, racism and all that stuff in America, we have to look to our own country where the caste system is literally so demeaning and so many people have been hurt by that. So it's, you have to fight the battles every single day. And I think our generation is doing such a good job with voicing our opinions and challenging the old beliefs that our parents and grandparents have held. And I don't, in a sense, I don't blame them, because they grew up in that environment and no one taught them to be better. But here we are, we're going to college, or in high school, however old you guys are. We get out of college and we're here to learn new things and to better ourselves and to challenge our old beliefs and to create a new idea and pass it on to our younger brothers and sisters and our future generations. So I think what we're doing and what this group is doing is very commendable, and I am so happy that I was able to be here today.
Thank you, Pragya. We're so happy that you're able to join. I know we got 2 questions. It was, are you guys going to be doing more of these Zoom calls in the future? We would love to. I think this was literally just something we thought of, and we thought it was really necessary. So we put it together really I think it was 6:30 when the speakers got on call, and we're like, all right, we're just going to do this. So if this was helpful, beneficial, we would love to do these in the future. And I guess we'll keep you guys in the loop since we have your emails. Make sure you put that on there if you haven't, and we'll send out all the resources that we have used. And we'll also be sending a document with all the petitions, the text, phone numbers, and other resources that you can use. So be on the lookout. We'll probably send it out either tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, thank you so much. Another question. We have thought of that. We just wanted to see how this call was going to go. None of us knew, what to expect. So we would love to do that. So in the future, we would definitely be willing to look into that and bringing in Black voices and friends to hear their stories if this is of interest, for sure.
Guys, I just wanted to make a quick note, to end on a positive note. I know it's easy to get triggered, especially when you see so much violence in the media and all you see is looting and burning. It's easy to get mad and angry, and especially at racist people that you know or don't know, or at the media. It's easy to get mad, but please talk to people. If you need any help, we're always here as well. And then I think the most important thing we can do as this next generation is to have a conversation. So I know we have to call people out as much as possible, but that does not mean exclude them, because we have to teach them that it's wrong. If you're just going to exclude by calling them out, then we're not doing our jobs properly, right? Like we're doing the same thing they're doing, because that their behaviors are based on hate, and if we just exclude, then we're just hating too. So let's try to have a conversation. Let's try to talk to them and tell them what we know about, try to educate them if they don't. just like how we're doing it right now. Just give them as much information as possible and then spread love, not hate.
I just wanted to add, I'm Shreya, by the way, and I'm from Wisconsin. I just wanted to add that, like, there is a lot of, like, misinformation going around social media, going around, like, news stations, and a lot of, like, our parents, moms, dads, aunts, uncles, grandparents, whoever, they're watching this, and that's where they're getting their information from. And I think it's very critical that we have to, you know, we have to talk to them about it. We have to, like, not only talk, but also, like, prove, like, give, like, articles, like, fact-based articles on what's going on. And I think for, like, helping the Black folk in the Black community, there like donation places that you can, like, donate to. There's, like, local ones. It's all over social media. And then there's also a YouTube video. I don't know if you guys have seen that going around, but her name is Amira, I think, Zoe Amira. And so you can just watch that video with the ads on, and then the ad revenue, like 100% of it will go towards donating for, like, the Black Lives Matter movement and, like, organizations. So yeah, and you can also, like, protest in person, and there's so many things you can do. But what's important is that we have to keep this movement alive. Like, right now, there's a lot of people who are being involved in it, which is great, but what's gonna happen a week from now? What's gonna happen a couple months, like a year? Like, we have to keep fighting. We have to keep supporting and being an ally. So yeah.
Hi, sorry, I don't want to, like, interrupt, but basically my name is Swesna, and wait, can you guys hear me? I don't know, I didn't say that. Okay, cool. Hi, my name is Swesna. I'm from California, SoCal, and jumping off on the topic of donating, so there's been a lot of riots going on here as well, and I just want to say, if you can't go and, like, participate in the protests, because I know I can't. I have immunosuppressed family members, so I'm not going to risk myself and then risk my whole family due to corona, and, like, that's still very prevalent. So I would highly suggest donating to, like, bail funds. I actually have a website where you can see the different bail funds according to your local, like, state or city. So I can leave the link in the description box. And thank you so much for Naya for providing the space to have this conversation, because I really genuinely felt like I was alone. Like, I live in California. It's very spread out. There's not a lot of Nepali people here, especially people who speak out. And it really frustrates me when I don't see that the people who are here that I know are not having these conversations. So yeah, I just want to say thank you for having the space to have this.
I love that. I love that there's so many here from so many different like, I'm just, like, in shock. I didn't even know, like, I wasn't expecting this, and I'm so happy to see so many different parts of literally the world. And
Hi, Trisha, can you hear me?
yeah, hi, go ahead.
Hi, I just wanted to, like, add something really quick before we leave. So I just wanted to say that I know it's really easy for us to, like, be really angry about this and just be upset about it, but I think it's really important for us, like, especially to our parents, to first, like, help them understand what's happening, because a lot of our parents, they believe whatever they see on the media and whatever is put out there, but they don't know the whole story. So I think it's really important for us to kind of, like, sit them down and kind of explain to them, like, hey, I know you think, like, for instance, my parents would say, like, in the media, they see a lot of Black people, like, getting like, put in jail or whatever, and they have that stigma against Black people. So I had to sit down and explain to them that, hey, the reason this is because in media, they don't show the white people that are getting, like, put in jail are the ones that are doing the crimes. So I think, like, a lot of our parents, I don't think they're coming from, like, ill intentioned, or they're not trying to be blatantly racist, but I think they just don't have the information. So I think it's really important to, like, sit down with our parents and explain to them, hey, the reason why we all, like, you guys think like this is because, like, people know, like, America, what people know that this is, like, the notion that's out there, and they want to keep promoting that. So like, to tell them the truth, because a lot of us, like, obviously we're really lucky to be educated and, like, to understand what's happening, but, like, it's more important to, like, understand where our parents coming from as well, and kind of help them understand that, hey, like, the story that you've been told, I know you think that because, like, their whole lives they've been told, like,
hey, like Black people, like they're this or they're that, you've been shown that image. So I get it that like that's how you think, you've been like kind of put in this like little box, but like it's on us to be like, no, that's not the whole story, and kind of share like the truth about them, or be like, you know, a lot of the crimes, like the scariest crimes that have been committed are like, from like white people, or like really young white people, and that's not shown on the internet. Like our parents don't see that on the news, and that's for a reason. So I think just sitting down and having that conversation nicely instead of getting angry about it, like there's no reason to be riled up and say, mom, dad, you're racist, like I don't support you. Like explain to them the reason you think like this is because you've been told this, this, and that, and like here's ways, like here's facts that prove it's not. So I think like I just wanted to mention that really quick, because that's a way that I've kind of tried to approach my parents, and I think they've definitely understood a little bit more and been more open about it. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Akriti. I think there was one more person who wanted to say something.
Oh, hi. I think they were talking to me earlier. I just want to be really respectful of everyone's time. I'll be really brief. You know, we all bear the burden of having to educate family and friends, and going off of and ending on a positive note, like your mental health should be your top priority. While this is a lot of work that takes physical and mental energy, you always have to make sure that you're creating your own like safe space to detach and kind of like recharge. So I just want to remind everyone that like it's a lot of work that you're doing for your mental health, and it's okay to be selfish at times and remove yourself. And just really quickly, I know we kind of mentioned earlier about how right now it's only Black people getting killed. Like what will happen if a young Nepali person gets killed, right? But the conversation that's bigger is, I'm from Seattle. We had a Vietnamese American man, 20 years old, killed, and I personally worked on that case. So it was very traumatic, and to the notion that it might be us is past. It is already us. It's already everyone who's not white. So I just want everyone to kind of take that into consideration, that yes, it's majority Black people, but that could be another way to talk to your parents about it. Is that, hey, no, like this happened in Seattle and we're still fighting for Tommy Lay. You can Google his case. He was holding a pen and he was shot in the back, accused of holding a knife. I met his family. I went through the inquest process, the counsel process. Firsthand have seen how police departments hide information. Firsthand I've seen how police departments refuse to show up at meetings where Tommy Lee's entire family was there and they didn't even have the guts or the respect to show up. That's just my brief experience, which is so minute and not even important in that case, but just something to keep in mind for everyone as well. And thank you so much, Naya, for doing this.
Of course, and thank you for sharing your part. I know it's 8:43. I'm sure your parents are probably like, let's go on a walk. My parents dipped earlier because they were like, we gotta go on a walk. But I know they found this very helpful. I was hearing my dad in the back asking questions to my brother and trying to learn, and I feel like that's amazing. And I'm super proud of my parents and you guys for being here today. So let's do this again. Since I'm gonna bug you guys with the Zoom link. Yes.
I want to make one comment. I've been quiet the whole time just because I wanted to hear other perspectives. I've been working in law enforcement for 6 years now, so I've seen it from their side, and I've noticed institutional racism and biases. It's in the policy itself. So there's a lot of work for us to do in policy, but I guess in the front end, what I wanted to add from my experience is when we say go vote, like Indu or Trisha said go vote, other members of this group said go vote, we don't mean go vote in presidential election. We mean go vote every time there's an election. And I'm guilty of this too. I go vote, don't get me wrong, but I don't know who all the candidates are. And today I happened to Google and I checked out, like, you know, in Virginia where we're from, how many elections have there been since the presidential election in 2016? There's been 3. And those 3 have been separate for a state governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, etc., and then a federal one for senator, and then lastly, a state Senate House. So those are all places that we need to vote, and not just vote, but educate ourselves, me included, on all of these candidates, because the ballot is very long. So when I just, take off early to go vote, I'm not doing my job. I need to research every single person, and I need to educate myself. What do they really stand for? Not the flyers that they send me, because that is just a bunch of, sell me things. So that's what I wanted to say about voting. For the young folks here, I know you can't vote, but you can teach your parents. You can't make them vote for someone, but you can teach them, hey mom, hey dad, these are who I find align with our views, and this is what I recommend. So that's what I wanted to end it on. Like, by voting, it's also taking the time to learn who's on the ballot and going to vote on all elections, not just presidential elections. Thank you.
Absolutely. That's
Can I really quickly add something? Hi, I'm Ashish. I just want to, first of all, acknowledge you guys for taking, this initiative and, forming the organization. I feel like back when I graduated from college, there were very less, Nepali organizations that were speaking on like social issues. So this is great, and everybody coming in together and speaking about what's been going on, the injustices. And also another thing that I want to say is for those of you who brought your parents to the call, please let them know that, we are appreciative about them, joining, because not everybody's parents, feel comfortable about joining. So, I think that's the way to, start the trend, so that, we see like, few parents coming in and, and being vocal. So, they're, taking a stand as well. So just convey that, we are appreciative for them, showing up during these calls. And thank you all for, making this happen.
Hey guys, just to add on top of what Sujadidi said, your district attorney is the one that charges all of the criminal offenses. So the most important person, if you want like quick results, is look who your local district attorney is, and you have to like make sure you know what their beliefs are, and make sure you find out your local person and vote for them. And yeah, you can send letters to their office. That's the quickest way. You can, if there's a local like police shooting or something, and if you want the victim's voices heard, that's the quickest way you can.
Anju, no. I think some of us here might have reached out, but I had reached out to a couple, but I didn't really get a response back. So, no luck, unfortunately. The question was, but I'm wondering if people had any luck with reaching out to their own local Nepali association on being vocal about what's going on, both on Black lives and Dalit lives. But it's okay. If we're here, let's do more of these. Let's invite people. If they don't want to participate, if they don't want to say anything, that's on them. And we can only control what we can control, right? So, yes. I'm scared to say any last words because I feel like we're going to be here all night. I can be here all night.
I just want to say something. Namaste sabelai. Mera naam Samiksha. I'll say the rest in English. I'm a first generation. I moved here when I was 10, and so I have a lot of cousins and like siblings who are younger than myself, and half of them are in Nepal and half of them are here. So I'm kind of like not like a role model, but they are like looking up to me. And so what I have had like a little bit of a hard time is like I'm a girl, so it's like hard for me to speak out because I feel like people in the Nepali community still to the day is like, I think that like girls, I don't know, like don't have the right to like speak or stuff like that, and I think that's so hurtful. We're in 2020 and it's still going on, and like I have to speak out all the time, and it feels like I'm kind of in the wrong, and like when I'm, I don't know, talking, when I'm just trying to get my point across, it seems like arguments. So I just want to like get some advice on how to not, I don't know, get in. I don't know if you guys like understand what I'm trying to say here.
I think many a times when we speak, we come from a place of emotion, and because they are our family members, we want them to very much believe exactly what we believe in, because you know you don't want your family members to think of something differently than you do, because that's just how family is. So what me and my sister we've tried to do is actually give them links and give them movies and things that they can watch and access without our, I guess, not bias in a sense, but our opinions in it, because what we're giving them is factual. And even though what we're telling them is factual, it's a lot harder. I get it. It's a lot harder for them to believe us, because they're like, oh, like, here comes Miss Social Activist speaking again and things like that. So it's hard, and I totally agree. So I think giving them the information and the tools to understand what is actually happening will hopefully affect them in a way that us, crying and whatever. Because every time I speak to my family members, I immediately cry because it's coming from that emotional place. And they're like, oh, why are you crying? Like, all that stuff. And I'm like, because I'm angry and because I'm trying to get my point across, but it's not coming across. So it's definitely easy, in a sense, easier to give them like, here, like sit down and watch this 1 hour long movie that tells you everything that I'm fighting for and like why I'm fighting for this. So someone mentioned earlier 13th on Netflix, directed by Ava DuVernay. It is one of the best documentaries, and me and my sister watched it, and then my uncle was like, oh, Pragya, like, what was the documentary that you were talking about? I really want to watch it and educate myself. And I was like, that's a great first step, so, and he was one of the ones that said the N-word. So I was like, oh, coming from you, like, this is huge. So I think giving them those options and telling them, here, if you don't want to listen to me, then listen to this, then they will be more than likely to do it. And I know it's very backwards, but you got to do what you got to do to get the point across somehow. So that's my little
Thank you.
If I may jump in here real quick, Samiksha, I wanted to address this ask real quick. So I roughly categorize Nepali relationships or dynamics in 3 categories. One is a mature one, meaning they listen to you, you have a conversation, you have a healthy debate, and there's an exchange happening. That's great. So, they respect you and your opinion, and you can have that conversation. So this should not be a biggie, and I don't think that's what you're alluding to here. So I'm going to jump to step number 2, the broad categorization, which says you have a less mature relationship, which is they'll listen to you for certain things, but definitely not on the topic of Jat, definitely not on the topic of race, right? So they hand select what they want to listen to you on, right? So in that case, you have to tread lightly, not to necessarily get on their bad side, but at the same time, challenge their belief and, try to make it relatable, the movies and stuff like that, try approaching it from multiple different dimensions, if you will, and see if you can get any, they'll give you some sort of feedback, right? They'll either extremely hate it and then, okay, you don't want to touch that zone, so go to the next one, right? So it's crazy that we have to fight with ignorance, because they are ignorant and they're in bliss, right? And we have to say, okay, you're ignorant, but we don't want to say it out loud because you'll be offended. So we'll have to say it in a nicer way. So, right, so that's number 2. The number 3 is the worst one, which is what I think you were alluding to here, is they think you know nothing about pretty much anything, but definitely nothing about Jat, race, and you're a spoiled millennial with progressive ideals, the activist, you was still dependent on parents in some ways, as if it's a bad thing because you are still young and you need support. but at the same